Alright, let's see. I think we need a garden update. So this garden here, we got some Alaska peas. They're growing well. We had some beets. No, we have some beets. There are some beets in here. They're not super big. There was radishes in every other row here. I've harvested them. Most of them didn't have bulbs, and I think it's because there's not enough loose soil. It's not deep enough. So that's something I'll have to fix next year. But the leaves grew great, and the chickens, they love the leaves, so it wasn't a total loss. Over here we got our mini marijuana farm, and we just repotted all the plants from 21 gallon into 45 gallon pots into these cloth pots. So that went pretty well. Took the 21 gallon ones and I put some new soil in them and stuff. And in let's see, in the back we got one with cabbage, and then we got one with squash, and then we got one full of radishes, we got one full of beets, and then we got up here in the front we got one full of broccolis and one full of cucumbers. These were just planted yesterday, so there's nothing coming up. And then in the small pots right here there are beans and peas, and I'm not sure which ones are beans and which ones are peas, but I did a couple with beans and a couple with peas. There's 4 of them in here. And then back here we took some old tires, we filled them with dirt and some Pro Mix. We got 2 more of the pots with beans. We got this hanging pot that has beans. This, let's see, I think this tire right here has watermelons. This one right here has something. It might have cabbages. I might have put cabbages there. I kind of forget what I did. I might have put cabbages there. These 2 back here have 2 different types of carrots in them. So that'll be good. That was all just planted last night, so there's no activity in the growing there. We'll have to wait. Then over here we got some more of these cloth pots, and these are filled with Adirondack blue potatoes, just planted a couple days ago, so we're not seeing anything yet. This has some Adirondacks, some Green Mountains. This one's full of Green Mountains and Katahdins. Over here, I think these are Katahdins. Oh, something was munching on the stem of that one. That's not good. But yeah, these are, I believe they're Green Mountains or Katahdins, and they're doing pretty well. Now, I'm worried back here too, where I'm starting to realize that I think one of the problems out here is the loose soil isn't deep enough. And next year, I'm going to have to get in a whole truckload of soil and raise this up with good soil, you know, another 6 or 8 inches, I think. And I think that's a big problem. I think these plants are getting down and they're getting some loose soil, and then they're hitting, you know, the harder soil, and they're getting their growth's getting stunted basically. And so I think these onions, I don't think they're really going anywhere. Now these tomato plants are looking pretty good. You know, some of this stuff is looking pretty good. They got some bean plants here. You know, and I think they're stunted because there's not enough loose soil. But we'll see how everything works out. I believe these are cucumber plants right here. And they're going decent. They're going decent. I don't know what this is, but it's going pretty well. I think those are broccolis. Those are going okay. I believe this is squash, and that's going okay. So some of the stuff out here is doing pretty well. You know, some of it's a little bit stunted in growth. You got some lettuce. I've picked a bunch of that. This corn looks like it's doing okay. You know, if we get a little bit more growth here during the summer, maybe we will. You know, they're not going to be like the biggest corns, but you know, maybe we are going to get something, because I tried this out here last year and they were too small to produce corn ears. But I think These are growing. These are like the size of the ones I ended up getting last year. So I think these are going to grow to a size where I'm actually going to get corn. So we'll see. I don't think the yield will be what it should be out of here because there's not enough of a dirt layer, which is something I'm just recognizing and I can't fix this year without totally tearing up everything. So we're just going to let it go. Look at this. We got a whole like ripe bean right here. Look at that. I'm going to have to eat it. So that's cool. Back here we've met with some success. Stuff keeps eating all my strawberries, but the actual plants are growing well, and you know, maybe someday I'll figure out how to protect the berries, and you know, I'm hoping that these things spread. So that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. These are the horseradishes. They're going well. Got 3 horseradish plants that are basically thriving. They're doing quite well. I think that's another raspberry plant growing. We're gonna have to see. This one might be too. The raspberry plant is doing well. These perennial onions here, they're basically dying. They're not doing that well. Now these I dug way down. They have loose soil way down. But they're not really taking. You can see this one died, that one's dying. This one's doing all right, but it's not really growing as fast as you would expect. These are, you know, they're looking kind of pathetic, really. Over here, some more of the perennial onions. They're not looking great. They're not looking great. These are the sunchokes. Now they're doing pretty well. The ones in this corner are doing very well. Something looks like they got to the leaves of these things and is kind of tearing them apart a little bit. But as far as I know, these are like weeds. I'm going to give them more time because they're supposed to spread pretty rapidly and they're supposed to grow pretty good. I mean, it's not full sun here and these are a sunflower, but you know, they look like they're going all right. They look like they're doing all right. Over here we got our groundnut, and it's starting to climb up the little fencing, and so that's cool. Oh, this is the first day that I've seen, so this is one of our groundnuts over here. Oh, here's the other one. So yeah, we planted 2 groundnuts right here. They're both coming up, so I'm gonna have to get some fencing to put in so that they can climb. And then over here is the 4th groundnut. We put in some fencing yesterday, and so that can climb. So that's great. So all the groundnuts are coming up, the sunchokes are coming up. Perennial onions, kind of a fail. So it looks like some might still survive. We're gonna have to see. They're not going that great. The asparagus is just popping up all over the place. You see, it's all coming up. Now you don't harvest this year. We'll be able to harvest next year. You just gotta let the plants grow and develop and get strong this year. You let their root system develop. Do I have to tie every one of these up, or are these things gonna be able to stand on their own? Maybe I put a line of fencing in here so they can lean on it. I might do that. I might do a straight line of fencing so these things can lean on the fencing. Or put a little bit of fencing in here so they have something to lean on. It's tying these up, you know, they get this big plant right here. It's not working so well. Because the asparagus plant gets pretty big, actually. But yeah, there's little asparagus all through here. So we got quite a few plants coming up there. They should fill out through the summer. So asparagus works good. That should be good next spring. Asparagus works. Asparagus works, strawberries work. A lot of these perennial things work pretty well. But I also, when I planted them, I dug way down, and so they have a lot more loose soil than in the garden there. Then let's see. There's one more. No, we got some other stuff too. We got one more area that I'm going to set up today and plant in. And that should be basically it. We got a few more pots coming in, like 6 more of the big planting pots coming in early next week, and then that'll be it. Right here, I'm gonna fence this off a little bit and plant. I think the only thing I know I'm gonna plant here is one of them's gonna have some pumpkins in it, and then everything else. I think I'm gonna grow some more cabbages because I could eat a lot of cabbage. I think cabbage will grow well. It only has like 50 days to maturity, which is pretty good. Maybe grow some more beets. Maybe stuff one with lettuce, although this seems like kind of a waste for a 45-gallon pot. Might just do some more potatoes. I don't know, but something like that sounds just about right. And then let's see. Out here we got some 6 front tomato plants, and they're doing pretty well. They're doing better than the ones in back. Yeah, they're all doing pretty well. We had a ton of rain here last night, so they all got drenched, and they're all pretty happy, I think. See, I planted some. Oh, you little shit! I planted some sunflowers out here. Oh, freaking chipmunks digging into my stuff. You little shit. Wait till I get a shotgun. Alright. That's about it for this.